Welcome to Inside Tulsa Athletics. On our show today, we'll have representatives from the Student Athlete Advisory Committees from 3 of our high schools and their athletics directors. The Student Athlete Advisory Committee was established 10 years ago so that the District Athletic Administration and the Site Athletic Administration could have input with their student athletes and communicate through all the experiences in TPS athletics. Stay tuned and we'll be right back with Marlon Houston. Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletic. Our first guest today is Marlon Houston, Assistant Athletic Director and the sponsor of the SAC Committee, which is the Student Athlete Advisory Committee. Welcome to be here.
Hey, thank you. Thank you.
I tell you, to preface all this, one of the things that we started 10 years ago was to have a Student Athlete Advisory Committee because it's a mandatory in NCAA Division II and Division I schools. And of course, with Mick and I, our background having been at the Division II level, we said this will be a good idea for us to implement and communicate district-wide. We have a district as large as our district and as many schools, that we can get these kids together periodically and find out what's going on with them and so on. You've come in this year as the sponsor of the SAC Committee. What are your impressions of it?
My impressions, number one, I was just blown away that there was already something in place for students to, have experience in leadership roles. So it's been a really good experience for me. The beautiful thing with communicating with our young leaders that was chosen for whatever reason to represent their schools is just to kind of find their leadership qualities and to kind of see those students work. And then I realize and see in each and every one of them their unique personalities and capabilities that whoever chose them to be on the committee saw within them. And the funny thing is that some of the kids have a good idea of their leadership qualities and some of them don't really realize their leadership qualities, but just kind of getting involved with the students and communicating with them and finding ways for them to identify those certain qualities and what it means to be a leader has just been a wonderful experience for them and for me.
I think the other part of that is the communication district-wide is so important. You have representatives from all 9 schools, male and female, and they can talk about what are you doing at your school, and why can't we do that at our school? And sometimes when you get this big, you have a tendency to have your little island, and you have 9 little islands out there.
Yeah, they bounce ideas and experiences off of each other, and one of the students at one school in a certain sport experience might not be as much on a level playing field as another student in another sport, and that's really good to see them realize that the grass might not be as green as they think at the other school, or vice versa, and also to see them get together and speak on their good experiences as an athlete. And whenever you have good experiences, you're going to have bad experiences to measure when you're having the good experiences. But they realize that that there's a different perspective at every location, and have midway through the year that light turns on.
Mm-hmm. And it's a great opportunity, I think, for the folks in the central office to get a feel for what's going on with all of the different schools. You think you can know, but until you really talk to a student you may not know everything.
That's right. I mean, one thing children and young adults will too, they'll let you know where you stand real quick.
Right.
They'll tell you things that you might not want to hear, but that's always an opportunity to grow or
Absolutely.
improve your ambitions.
You indicated that you have done some surveys with them. What have you learned from those surveys?
Well, one thing I've learned through doing those surveys, like I said, is finding what students really understand: service and leadership, and then also understanding what things that they remember the most. Some of the successes that you would think, for example, wins and losses sometimes is the furthest thing from them measuring or understanding or realizing if they really enjoyed something. What I've learned is what Dad has also showed us is relationship building is the best way to reach our students. And they really, their biggest takeaways are those relationships that they've built that were positive. Their best takeaways are their teachers or the coaches that they really felt like really went the long way to try to communicate with them and reach them. And that's one thing I think through those surveys. And plus, it's a lot easier for someone to be more honest.
Yeah, absolutely.
On a survey.
Well, Marlon, thank you for being here today. And when we come back, we will have Mark Dover, who is the athletic director from Memorial.
Hey Tulsa, welcome back to the top recycling play of the day. Team Johnson is facing off against one tough competitor, glass.
That's right, only glass bottles and jars are recyclable. Don't even think about sinking a drink in glass or mirror. Always good to empty your glass bottles and jars before recycling.
These two get it, emptying both bottles from far out, and they remove the lids. Score big by recycling your glass bottles and jars. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
Being an athlete at Nathan Hale's means that you have to be consistent, outgoing, and be dedicated because students at Nathan Hale look up to the football team.
Being an athlete at Nathan Hale has taught me to be confident and disciplined and always to be open-minded and always ready to work with people no matter how difficult it is.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics, and our first guest today, after we talked to Marlon Houston, is Mark Dover, who's the Director of Athletics for the Memorial Chargers, and his student athlete is Josh McDill.
Thanks
Welcome to the show. Well, Mark, it's been a good year. We always win a state championship. It's always a good year.
Yeah, of course.
How does that resonate in the school environment when you have that success?
It definitely promotes a sense of community and school spirit. This year we had to travel to Lloyd Noble, played at OU, and before that we played at Noble. Each day we brought a busload of students and cheerleaders, and having that type of support at a state championship, it really brings the school together.
Yeah, when it's on the road like that, and will be for the next 2 years, a 3-year contract over there. How was that? Because we were always used to playing at home.
It was definitely different. Just playing in that type of environment, and the Mabee Center is a great venue, and that's where it's been for so many years. It's a different environment, but our team really stepped up. I think they did a great job late postseason, and overcoming a team, the only team that's beaten you all year to win a state championship is always special.
Absolutely. Well, Josh, are you a senior?
Yes.
You're a
Yep,
senior.
I am. Yep.
What are your plans after you graduate?
So I plan to attend TU. I got a little academic scholarship, and I plan to try and walk on to play football there.
Good. What do you want to major in?
Exercise and sports science. Yep, kinesiology.
Okay. Yes. Good. Well, that's the second one. We've got a bunch of them that want to do that. So let's talk about your experience as a member of the SAC committee. How you feel that has helped you, or helped the school, or helped the community?
Yeah, I mean, it's good to get together with other athletes from other schools within the district, to share ideas and things that just happen, that don't happen at our school, that happen at their school, and just pretty much bounce ideas off of each other. And, yeah.
Are you able to take those back to your leadership?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, I mean, and being exposed to other things from other schools, other athletic facilities, and everything like that, it helps out a lot.
Yeah. Now you're in 2 sports.
Yep.
Football and golf.
Yep, it's golf season right now.
How's golf?
Good. It's going good. We've had a few tournaments. It's coming to an end though, so it's been pretty fun. It's been a pretty good year.
Where's your regional?
I'm not quite sure where regional is at this year. I think they had changed it this year, so.
They change them around.
Yeah.
It's hard to find golf courses.
Yeah.
I can tell you that's one of the difficult things. Golf courses and people to host the state track meet or the regional track meet are the toughest things because they just don't want to do it. So you are going to be in athletics after you graduate from college?
Yep. And I'm going to try and stay in athletics. I mean, as much as I can, whether it's coaching or whatever I can do. So.
Let's see.
Yep.
Okay. Mark, tell us a little bit about your SAC program and how that relates to your male and female sports.
Every year, the coaches and I get together and discuss possibilities of who's going to sit on the committee for the district. Our female participant, Jamyah McClellan, she was identified pretty early on her sophomore year, and Josh, this is his first year participating on it. They go to the meetings and collaborate with the other schools and the other members, and then whenever they come back to school the next day or the next time I see them, we usually either sit down or have a casual conversation about what they've learned or what the projects they're working on are. I think it's a great program for the district. Ours, we've had some rotation over the last 5 or 6 years, but we always try to put students in place that will get as much out of it as the program will out of them.
Joshua, what do you think about your athletic experience at Memorial?
I'd say it's been pretty good. I mean, I've tried to participate in as much as I can because I love sports. I've been playing since I was really young, so I think I got a pretty good experience out of athletics at Memorial.
Where'd you go to the junior high?
I went to Memorial Junior High.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Been right in the feeder program.
Yep.
Yeah. So, did you play other sports in junior high?
I just played football.
Just football.
Yep, just football in junior high. Yep.
So when did you take up golf?
This year actually. I started this year. Yep, and it turns out I'm pretty decent at it.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's great. Golf is a lifetime sport.
Oh yeah, play it all your life.
Yeah, I'm still playing.
Yeah.
Because when it doesn't rain.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to play every Wednesday. It seems like every Wednesday it rains.
Really?
It's supposed to rain again tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
But anyhow, well, is there anything that we need to know about Memorial that we don't already know?
Oh, I think we're definitely moving in the right direction. We're trying to take steps forward, not side steps or backward steps, and trying to place an emphasis on some of the smaller programs like golf, where we've really promoted that this year. Our numbers are growing. And another one is softball. We've got that co-op with Booker T for Team Tulsa, and I think that's been a really positive situation for both schools to collaborate and compete together.
Mm-hmm. We had Jordan on last month.
Great.
She did a really good job and talked about the number of kids that are involved in the program that normally would not have been at either school.
Right.
If we hadn't co-opted that.
I agree.
That's a great program. Well, guys, thanks for being here today, and good luck as you go on to college and get involved in athletics.
Thank you.
And when we come back, we'll have Jamyah McClellan, the female representative from Memorial, on the SAC committee.
Hey, Tulsa, welcome back to the top recycling play of the day. Team Johnson is looking to defend their title against aluminum and steel cans.
Bob, most people think of the kitchen for this opponent, but aluminum and steel cans, like empty shaving cream cans, also play extremely well in bathrooms all over Tulsa. That was nothing but bin, Bob.
Wow, right into the bin. Team Johnson has buttoned up another win. Score big by recycling your aluminum and steel cans. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
Being an athlete at Booker T. Washington has taught me to carry myself with class as an athlete, student, and friend, and to have responsibility on and off the field Being an athlete at Memorial High School has taught me to be a better person, because when you play sports, attitude is the main thing you have to deal with. Not just your own, but other people's. It also teaches you to be the bigger person.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics. And we're back now with Mark Dover, who's the Director of Athletics at Memorial. And we have Jamyah McClellan. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Hi.
Mark, toward the end of the year,
Yeah.
you know, it's April, and how's it been at Memorial this year?
Oh, it's been great. I think, we're right at the end. We're trying to get our seniors qualified for graduation, and we've had really successful year athletics wise. I think, each year we try to build upon recent success, and we're moving in a forward direction.
That's fantastic. Jamyah, you're a senior.
Yes.
And what plans do you have after you graduate?
So I got accepted into Wichita State. So
Excellent.
I plan on going there, studying psychology,
I see.
and just after that.
Why did you choose Wichita State?
Because I had went to a college fair Memorial was hosting, and they were there. The lady was pretty nice, and she just went in depth about the campus, and I really liked it, and just opened my eyes to college.
Yeah, well, I spent the first 4 years of my career in Kansas, so familiar with Wichita State. Good school, and
Yeah.
Wichita's a good town.
Yeah.
A lot like Tulsa. It's about
Yeah.
the same size as Tulsa. So
It's very spacious.
yeah, it's a good deal. So tell us about your participation in athletics.
So I've been in volleyball since my freshman year, and throughout my years of playing, I've been a setter for a round, and it's just been a lot. Yeah.
A lot of what?
A lot of crazy. I can say, like, it's hard being an athlete and a student at the same time, and like a lot of concentration is needed, and when you don't have that, it's like a big struggle.
People don't realize, when everybody else is going home, athletics is just starting
Yeah.
for the day.
Yeah.
And you have the travel that you have to go on, and then have to be in class the next morning, no matter how late it was you got out the night before.
Yeah.
And all those things are tough. But so your involvement with the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, tell me about your experience with that.
So I've been in it since my sophomore year, and throughout it, I've met like a lot of people within the committee, and the lady that taught there before, I knew her. She was really nice, and we just got involved within talking about our sports and a lot of community work. Sometime next May, we're supposed to be hosting a little elementary track meet and helping elementary kids. And then after that, we have a little bike-a-thon we're doing, going from Greenwood to the Gathering Place. So,
Well, that's great.
yeah.
I think that involvement in the community gives you a face recognition to people that we want to come see you play.
Yeah.
Mark, how do you feel about the SAC committee?
I think it's a great idea. I think the implementation of it is great within the community. I think through their outreach, they're able to create more of a sense of community within Tulsa Public Schools, and joining all of the schools together under one committee, they've really provided a positive platform for TPS and athletics throughout Tulsa.
I think it gives the student athlete an opportunity to meet with other student athletes in a non-competitive situation, which I think is important sometimes to get to know somebody a little bit differently. Some people turn it on when they're on the field or court, and then they can turn it off when they're a different person when they're off the field or court. How do you think the coaches feel about the SAC committee?
I think they really see the positivity to it. When we discuss who's going to participate each year, like we did with Jamyah when she was a sophomore, she kind of stepped into a leadership role earlier as a freshman, and she was identified, and she's been serving on the committee since, and she's done a great job. She always reports back to me the day after they have meetings or they have an event, and I think all of our coaches see it as a positive. Just as a positive to, or in addition to what they're doing on the court or on the field and in the classroom.
What do you think your athletic experience has helped you prepare you to be a college student next year?
Definitely. It teaches me like some things you just don't do and some things you do, especially like when it comes to college. It just like prepares you a lot of things I can't really explain. It just like
organization of your time.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely that too.
You'll find, I think, when you get to college, you're kind of on your own, and to be able to have that discipline to say, I've got to study tonight. I can't
responsibility.
go out, with the guys.
Yeah, no, felt.
Well, we wish you well as you go to Wichita State. That's great, and
Thank you.
congratulations on being a senior, graduating.
Yeah, thank you.
And Mark, we're glad you're here.
Thank you.
And I'm sure we'll have you back again.
Of course.
And when we come back, we'll have Keim, who is the Director of Athletics of the Hale Rangers.
Hey, Tulsa, we have a crushing recycle play of the day for you. Team Johnson versus paper and cardboard.
They're starting off slow today, probably trying to figure out what to do with those styrofoam plates, since they're not recyclable.
There's the big play we were waiting for. Boom! Completely empty cardboard boxes dunked in the cart. Score big by recycling your cardboard and paper. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
Being an athlete at Edison High School has taught me to work as a team rather than as an individual. Whenever you're on a team, you have a special bond with each other. You know you can rely on them in a time of need, whether on or off the court. Whether it be a shoulder to cry on or advice on how you can improve, you know your team will always be there for you.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics. Now we have Keim, who is the Director of Athletics of the Hale Rangers, and Noah Caballero. And Noah is on the SAC committee. Shane, tell us a little bit about the Hale SAC committee.
Well, so typically I choose upperclassmen because I feel like they're the ones who are going to contribute the most to more of a district-wide conversation. This year, I've got, of course, Noah and then Misty, our cheerleading captain. Both of them are doing a great job of speaking out about things that they think we need to improve on or can work on. And I really appreciate the opportunity to give them that voice that they haven't always had until we started this.
Noah, how do you feel about it?
About what situation?
The SAC committee.
It's really nice. I never knew about it till this year, honestly. It's quite an experience. I never really done anything like it before, but being able to be part of something about, or not something, being able to be part of that committee is quite nice. Being able to meet other people and the community service that we're fixing to do is going to be amazing, honestly. I'm actually excited for it.
Well, tell us some of the things you're getting ready to do.
Well, in the committee?
Yeah.
Well, we're fixing to do some community service with some sort of track meet thing. Not sure exactly what it's about, but we're going to help feed the people that are racing, give them drinks. We're going to help out around the place, make sure everything's cooperating well and everything. I'm not sure exactly what orders we're going to be given, but just go and do what they tell me to do.
Well, and you'll be present, and what that does is gives the Hale Rangers a face for those people to come to your games and meets and matches and everything, because now they've recognized you as being a part of the community. I think the community involvement is critical. With the years that I spent in the college business, that was one of the requirements that we had of our student athletes, is that they become involved in the community. And we usually did it by team, and they would pick out one particular thing in the communities where we were that gave them a real profile within that community, and establish a rapport with them.
We appreciate the opportunity to put a face to the Hale Rangers, and that's something that we take seriously. And we know that if the community feels like they know somebody that is participating, they're more likely to come out and see them do what they do well.
So you are what classified?
Classified?
Junior, senior?
Senior.
Senior.
Yes, sir.
What are your plans?
my plans is to graduate with a 3-point GPA or higher, and go to OSU, which I already got committed to.
Excellent.
My major is going to be sports management.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
I'll be in this business.
Really?
He's gonna come take my job.
Well, you know, I spent 44 years as the athletic director.
Hey, how was it?
It's fantastic.
That's good.
I tell you, it really, you know, I coached for 7 years, and when I came to Tulsa, I was the first full-time athletic director at Union in 1976, and I told my wife, I'm going to do this 1 year, and if I don't like it, I'm going back to coaching, because I really love coaching, love being with the student athletes and the other coaches and everything. And 43 years later, I retired. But it was really, there's no off season for the AD. You know,
it's just all throughout.
Well, it's year round.
Dang.
You work year round. I mean, it's one of those things where people say, well, you're off for the summer. I said, no, we're on for the summer. That's when we sell all of our advertising, tickets and booster clubs and all that kind of stuff. So you don't have an off season, which is good for me, because I probably had ADD before people knew what it was. You know, I needed something to do. You know, I'd get the off season weights, and you know, by January I was, what are we going to do? You know, so I think I'm encouraged that you would want to do that. I think that's you can have a tremendous impact on the entire program.
I thought it'd be pretty awesome, honestly. I like being social, so it fits me really well.
Yeah, running meets and games and being the game manager, and there you go. Yeah.
We're never bored in this industry.
No, there's not time for that. Well, Shane, what are some other good things going on in Hale?
You know, we're really growing. We feel like all of our athletic programs are really, they've been plugging away for the last few years. We feel like we're finally starting to turn that corner. The old saying that I always said was, you know, it takes time to turn the Titanic. You know, and it's where we're at, and we've had some success this year, and we look forward to building on it. And I think we're going to continue to do so.
Patience is a tremendous virtue.
You have to have it.
You got to have it in this business. Things don't turn as quickly as you always want it to. You have good student athletes that are committed to the program. Have good administration that's committed to the program. Then you've got a chance.
Absolutely.
You know, I think that's the key, and I know your principal is certainly involved with the program.
I promise she wants to win, and so we've got the pieces to be successful.
I found that out with the very first meeting I had with her. I can't say what she told me, but anyhow, thank you guys for being here today. It's a great deal to have you. And when we come back, we're going to have Misty Asher, who is the female representative of the Hale Rangers.
Hey Tulsa, welcome back to the top recycling play of the day. Team Johnson is facing off against a tough competitor, plastic.
Don't trust those numbers on the bottom. You have to stick to what you know. Only bottles and jugs found in the kitchen, bath, or laundry. They're quick to pick up. And empty those bottles before sinking that shot.
Always empty your bottles before recycling. Score big by recycling your plastic bottles and jugs. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
I love Will Rogers Athletics because it helped me physically, spiritually, and emotionally through all the journeys I've been through at that school. All of the support staff helped me a lot, and it's just an amazing school.
Athletics at Will Rogers changed my life because it became a second family. With the support of my coaches and teammates, it's helped me gain confidence, work as a team, and will help me in college and in life.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics. And now we have Shane Keim, who's the Director of Athletics of the Hale Rangers.
That's right.
And Misty Asher, who is a cheerleader and plays in the band. And is their representative, the female representative for the Student Athlete Advisory Committee. Shane, welcome to the show. Misty, welcome.
Thank you.
Let's talk about the Student Athletic Advisory Committee at Hale.
Yeah, it's something that we see as extremely important for students to be able to get input into larger district issues, and it's an opportunity to give them a voice that they didn't have before we started this, and so we really value that.
Misty, you're involved in a number of things, obviously, How do you feel as a student to be able to have a meeting and talk about issues and things? One of the things when we set this up years ago was we're not talking about playing time. We're not talking about I'm upset with this teacher or this coach. What can we do to make your experience better? So how do you feel about that?
Oh, okay. I can't do this. I'm sorry.
You can answer the question. Yeah,
You're fine.
Like how to make our student athletic better.
yeah.
Well, our school really lacks in like confidence, and especially when like the beginning of the season starts, they're very confident, and slowly it starts like going down.
Mhm.
But they try really hard, and they have a lot of confidence, and they try.
Sure.
How do you feel about having a voice on this committee and being able to talk with other kids from the district? You got it.
I can't.
Well, let's talk about it from this standpoint. You're into band and cheer. How long have you been in cheer?
I've been in cheer since 6 years.
6 years.
6 years.
There you go. And how do you feel that the cheer program relates to the athletics program?
Well, we love to like help encourage them and get their motions going. Our problem is like the crowd. The crowd does not help at all, which is very sad because we try so hard and we try so hard to like bring people in, but honestly our programs are like really growing, and I'm very proud of everybody because they're trying, and it's honestly, it's growing.
Let's talk about the band.
Oh yeah. I love band. I've been in band for 6 years also, and definitely doing band and cheer is a problem. You gotta like juggle doing both of them. I gotta like do like half the game as like cheer captain, and I have to go up and be like our first chair trumpet.
Oh yeah.
So it's very difficult, but it's also extremely fun. I love doing it. I love band so much. It's like such a great opportunity. I wish more of our kids were in it because honestly, band is amazing. Like it helps like bring my day up, and it's amazing. I love band so much.
There have been more than a few times when Misty's had to go out at halftime after performing as a cheerleader and be out there with the trumpet and her cheer uniform.
Yeah, play the national anthem.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Would you want to continue to play?
Oh, I would love to. I don't know how I would though, because I would have to buy my own trumpet. But if I could find an opportunity to where I could continue playing, I would love to, because I love trumpet.
Tell me about the marching part of that. You have to be in shape to march?
No, honestly, you just have to know how to step and just be in line. Like, it's really easy, but our kids lack in like wanting to be in band. We don't have that many people in band, which is really hard to get people in band. I don't know why people think it's so hard, but band is so amazing. Anyways, but I don't know. Like,
if you don't start early with an instrument, it would be difficult. I mean, you can't come in as a senior or junior and say I'm going to play a trombone.
There's a lot of rhythm that they're going to have.
Could. Like if it depends on how much you're into music and like how much you practice. Like you really need to practice at home if you want to get better. And practice makes perfect.
Oh,
so
sure.
Of course, yeah.
But a lot of people don't realize here is that when I was in elementary school in Louisville, Kentucky, I played the bass drum.
Ooh.
And the bass drum got to stand up in front of the band. And so then the director said, well, you need to take drum lessons. So I started I was a drummer for about 4 or 5 years.
Oh, yeah.
And just kind of got away with it when we moved to Oklahoma. But it's a neat thing to do, and you meet a lot of people and get to do a lot of good things. Well, we're glad you're here.
Thank you.
And good luck as a senior graduating this year, and hope everything works out for you. And I'm sure, Shane, we'll see you in the future.
Absolutely. Can't get rid of me that easy.
When we come back, we'll have Krsytel Markwardt, the Director of Athletics from Rogers.
Hey Tulsa, welcome back to the top recycling play of the day. Team Johnson is facing off against one tough competitor, glass.
That's right. Only glass bottles and jars are recyclable. Don't even think about sinking a drink in glass or mirror. Always good to empty your glass bottles and jars before recycling.
These two get it, emptying both bottles from far out, and they remove the lids. Score big by recycling your glass bottles and jars. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
Athletics is so important at Tulsa Central because it's an outlet for some of our kids there. They get a better opportunity to basically give back to our community.
At McClellan, the sports is what mainly drives a bunch of the students to come to school every single day and work hard because they want to be able to come from the classroom to the field or the court and show at what they're good at.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics. Now we have Krsytel Markwardt, Director of Athletics from Rogers Ropers, and Jared Mulvaney. And we're glad you guys are here today.
I'm glad to be here.
Happy to be here.
Let's talk about the SAC committee at Rogers.
Well, this I feel like is a really good program for our kids. They're still trying to learn what it's all about, but I think it's important for our kids to have a voice, for their peers and to be able to take those ideas and kind of collaborate together with the other schools. We were visiting out there today about it as well, and just talked a little bit about how it's important that they share their ideas with other schools to make sure that things are that way, or if there's some things that they want to change that other schools are doing, they can bring that back to us and we can visit about it.
They know about the equitable part of this program.
Absolutely.
If they're doing something at one school, why can't we do that at our school?
Absolutely, and those are things you hear. We actually talked about that a while ago. If they have this, and how do we get that, and that kind of thing. So I think it's important for our kids to learn to have that voice.
The sharing ideas are always, I think, in communication is critical to any success in the organization. It's one of the reasons we started that. When Mick and I came in here 10 years ago, we both had Division II experience. And it is a rule in the NCAA that you have to have student involvement and have a SAC committee.
Right.
It also is a rule you have to have one meeting every year with all of your student athletes.
Really?
And the first meeting I had at Upper Iowa University was at 6 o'clock on a Thursday afternoon in August. And we started at 6 o'clock and the president wasn't there. I always had the president, the dean of students, and the chief of campus police come, and then our compliance officer. And about 15 after 6, I see the president at the back of the room. We've already started. And he's talking to my associate AD for compliance. After it was over, I asked him, I said, what did he say? He said, Coach Cloud means 6 o'clock. He means 6 o'clock.
You are on time. Yes.
Yeah, you learn those things, I think.
You sure do.
Jared, tell me a little bit about your experience being a SAC member and being a student athlete at Rogers.
Well, first of all, starting off as a student athlete at Rogers, it's been a very wonderful experience. I came from a big school out of Wausau, and my experience at Rogers has been much better than that experience. I feel like I've been cared for more, and my coaches, they pay a lot more attention to me. I've found more success at Rogers than I have at a bigger school. I feel like you get lost in the numbers at a bigger school. And being a SAC member, it's been a good experience for me to, kind of develop some leadership skills, especially with my, teammates at school, because I'm a leader on the baseball team. And it helps me kind of give them a voice, like Markwardt said, for the rest of my school to higher ups in TPS, and, also kind of explain what we're going through to other people at other schools.
How do you gain any information from the other student athletes?
I do. We talk about how athletics are going out at each other's school and like what we have and what we don't have, and it's been good. I enjoy talking to them about that stuff.
One of the things when I went to Union as a director of athletics in 1976, we had 500 students in the top 4 grades, and when I left 15 years later, we had 2,500. And I always said that when we got past 1,600, we didn't do as good a job with our student athletes because there were so many people involved. And it was a little bit less important to the student body because a lower percentage of students were involved
Right.
in the athletic program. So I think Rogers is a good size, and it's growing.
It
a
is
little.
growing.
Yeah,
We're at a
growing.
good size right now, though. I agree. Our student athletes still have a big presence in our student body, and I think that's important.
That is good. That is very good. From your perspective, Krsytel, how's your year been this year?
It's been interesting. Athletically, we've been pretty successful. I'm happy with that. Just trying to get back to normal from the COVID situation and dealing with that. It's been trying at times, but athletics has kept our kids there. It's kept our kids in the building and kept them engaged, and I think that's huge. So I know it's helped our attendance. Just our athletes' attendance is where it needs to be. I would say we are seeing a difference in our culture of our school because of the facilities that were started at Rogers with the football stadium and doing some upgrades and things that are going on right now. It's really changed the culture, I believe, at our school. I'm excited about where it's going.
I've always felt that way. Like I said, my first 15 years were out south, and we passed 17 bond issues in 15 years. Bricks and mortar make people excited.
Yes, it does.
When you're building things, you're building programs and everything, and the student athletes think, well, we really care about what's going on with you because we're on. I'm excited about your auxiliary gym.
Oh, we're super excited about that. The kids don't know everything yet because I hate to tell them things when I don't know a timeline quite yet, but our coaches are excited. It just makes them feel like you said, we're putting back into our programs and we want to attract kids. I mean, we want kids to be there. We want our kids. Our goal at Rogers is for our athletes to feel just like they do at other districts, and they're just as important. So that's our goal.
I agree. Well, Jared, thank you for being here today.
having
Good
me.
luck next year, your new football career, baseball, and so on. And Krsytel, thank you for coming. And we'll be right back with your female representative from rural Rogers.
Hey, Tulsa, welcome back to the top recycling play of the day. Team Johnson is looking to defend their title against aluminum and steel cans.
Bob, most people think of the kitchen for this opponent, but aluminum and steel cans, like empty shaving cream cans, also play extremely well in bathrooms all over Tulsa. That was nothing but bin, Bob.
Wow, right into the bin. Team Johnson has buttoned up another win. Score big by recycling your aluminum and steel cans. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
Being an athlete at Edison High School has taught me to work as a team rather than as an individual. Whenever you're on a team, you have a special bond with each other. You know you can rely on them in a time of need, whether on or off the court. Whether it be a shoulder to cry on or advice on how you can improve, you know your team will always be there for you.
And now we're back with Krsytel Markwardt, the athletic director from Will Rogers, and Samara Marquardt, a member of the STAC committee from Rogers and a pretty good wrestler and volleyball player, right?
And in track right now.
Oh, in track?
Yeah.
Long jump. Long jump, all right. Well, Krsytel, we had Jared on earlier, and we talked about from his perspective. Do you see any difference between the male and the female sports?
You know, being a female and being involved with sports, I really do feel like at Rogers, and I don't know if it's just because I'm a female as well, but I feel like our participation numbers are growing in female sports. I think a lot of that's just, again, like with girls wrestling or in girls soccer and girls volleyball, there's just a lot more opportunities now for girls. And it's growing. It's getting more kids in the athletic facilities, and I think it's great for our school.
I think, the exposure with ESPN and all of those, Fox and those, making sure that there's equity in what is published and programmed during the year. I also think that the NCAA did a tremendous job this year in making sure there was equity between the men's tournament and the women's tournament of basketball.
I would agree. I can tell you just from being a sports watcher and being on watching things on TV from when I played to now, there was no coverage. There used to be no coverage, and so young girls didn't really get to see what their opportunities were. There were some out there, but they didn't really get to see it, and they were never portrayed as the athlete that the men were. And I think now it's a whole different thing.
It is. It really is. I had some people get upset over the weekend because they didn't have the Longhorn Network and they couldn't see the OU Texas softball. What in the world's going on here? My gosh,
yeah.
you know. Well, Samara, you're a senior. You've graduated and you've committed to go to college.
Mm-hmm.
What do you look forward to in your freshman year?
Of college? It's kind of hard. I mean, I didn't expect it to be easy. So, challenge really, yeah.
And you're going to be a student athlete at the collegiate level, which is time consuming. Do you feel like that you'll be able to handle the time management that you have to do to do both?
Yeah, I think I will.
Can you expand on that?
Yeah. Right now, I'm kind of in the same boat as I will be in college, just with school and home and sports, or just,
Playing 3 sports, I think, helped a lot.
Playing 3 sports helps a lot because when you get to college, you're playing one, but you're in all 3 seasons.
That's correct.
Always have off season, and I think time management will be very important. What do you want to study?
Early childhood education.
Do you?
Yes.
It'll be a kindergarten teacher or first grade?
Yeah. Around that age.
You know, I used to do a lot of speaking with in-service preseason teacher meetings, and I would come and I would say, there's a group of people in this room who have more pressure than anybody else. And of course, all the teachers thought, well, this guy's an athletic director, so he's talking about the coaches. And I said, it's the first grade teacher. You don't teach them to read, we don't have a chance the rest of the way.
That's true.
It's so important that the early elementary is getting those fundamentals down, because those kids won't have a chance to learn if they don't.
Sure.
How's your experience, you feel like, at Rogers been?
It's been rough, but fun. It started rough, but it became like more of home and just fun,
So you're proud to be a Roper?
I am.
Yeah.
She left for a bit and came back, actually.
Yeah,
so
I did.
Yeah.
She said, I've got to get back to Rogers.
Well, it's a good place, and people like Krsytel and Nikki and those folks have made it a good place for kids to get an education. Krsytel, as we get into the end of the year, let's talk a little bit about your program. You feel like you've expanded your girls program?
Really do. I mean, not just because she's in it, but girls wrestling is, we went from having a team that was kind of combined with our boys team to now, just got approved to add that as a real sport with stipends and that kind of thing for TPS. Our participation numbers have really increased from last year to this year. I think we had 3 girls last year and 13 or 14 this year that started, and so just getting that trickled down to our junior high or our middle school will really help. Not just that, but we are actually going to add slow pitch softball next year to the mix to kind of enhance our fast pitch program and just try to get those kids out there for more than just that fast pitch season. Right. So we're really trying to get some different options for our girls to be involved in. So.
Well, I think involvement is critical to keep kids in school.
Absolutely.
Participation in extracurricular activities are quintessential to that. We're glad you're here. Good luck to your future plans down in Carl Albert. And Coach, I'm sure we'll have you back sometime. And
look forward to being back.
When we come back, we'll have Mick Wilson, who is the Executive Director of Athletics for the Tulsa Public Schools.
Hey Tulsa, welcome back to the top recycling play of the day. Team Johnson is looking to defend their title against aluminum and steel cans.
Bob, most people think of the kitchen for this opponent, but aluminum and steel cans, like empty shaving cream cans, also play extremely well in bathrooms all over Tulsa. That was nothing but bin, Bob.
Wow, right into the bin. Team Johnson has buttoned up another win. Score big by recycling your aluminum and steel cans. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
being an athlete at Nathan Hale's mean that you have to be consistent, outgoing, and be dedicated because students at Nathan Hale look up to the football team.
Being an athlete at Nathan Hale has taught me to be confident and disciplined and always to be open-minded and always ready to work with people no matter how difficult it is.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics. Now we have the Executive Director of Athletics for the Tulsa Public Schools, Mick Wilson. Mick, welcome back.
Well, glad to be back. It's been a while, but
it has been a while.
I'm sorry we've had to miss for some
busy.
meetings. I have been running to Oklahoma City and different places, but it's good to be back on the show, Gil, and good to see everyone here on the set. And I see you as well.
Well, it's great to have all the student athletes. I think that's the epitome of why we do this. It's for them and their programs. It's not for us. So let's talk a little bit about that. We've had all of our student athlete advisors from 3 schools on today, and they've talked about their experience from a district perspective. How do you view the importance and on the longevity, the information that you can derive from those students?
Well, Gil, as you know, having some experience, you and I both at the NCAA level, the Student Athletic Advisory Committee is it's really important to really lock into your student athletes and not only pick their brain and get ideas, but I think it's also important for us to be able to sometimes kind of tell them why we're doing certain things or how rules and different things come into play. And right off the bat, I think about some of the early student advisory committee meetings that we had way back in the day, Gil, when we talked to them about student eligibility and transfers and OSSA rules and why those come about and how those come about. It's important to educate our kids because so many times our kids have questions that maybe they don't get answered on a normal basis. So it's important for us not only to really find out what they want and their needs, but it's also important for them to gain knowledge of what we're trying to do and what we're trying to accomplish. And I think that's the big thing, is be able to educate them to the ways of the OSSA, to the ways of our Tulsa Public Schools policies and procedures. And it's a two-way street. And then we can also field their questions and find out the pulse of what it is that they're wanting to accomplish or what they would like their experience to be.
One of the things that has come out in this show today has been their ability to be able to meet and greet other student athletes from other schools within the district and to meet them in a non-competitive situation where they can share ideas and things that they have at their school that they'd like to have at their school, and they go back and tell their administration, well, this school's doing it, why can't we do it?
Well, as Marlon's talked about in the past, that these kids come together and they get to spend some time together and, like you said, know each other, to get to know each other in a non-competitive environment. Obviously these kids have been chosen to be leaders, not only among the student athletes, but really in the student body. Some of these kids are also members of the student council. So these kids are respected people in their buildings, and to be able to collaborate with other schools, other school leaders, and to share ideas, because some of these kids, even though we know that our high schools are 9 different communities, they do have some common threads and they battle some of the same issues. Mm-hmm. And so to be able to kind of understand what some other kids are going through, I think it's a big thing, and it's good for these kids to have peers that understand them and be able to share ideas.
I think it's good for them also to understand that they're not out there by themselves, that everybody has the same problems. And if getting together, you can solve those problems a lot easier because you have more opinions that can help you. As we get into graduation time, this is always a big time for all of our schools. And how does the future look for enrollment and that type of thing?
Well, I think right now it seems like that the dust's kind of settled. I think everyone has a good grip of where they're going to be attending high school next year. When we're talking about the 8th graders, good groups, this is also the time of year when maybe people from outside the district are starting to look for transfers and put in transfers. So we're fielding a lot of calls in the office about eligibility, which is refreshing because so many times people make moves or make a transfer without asking or finding out the consequences until after the fact, and so then that causes a different set of problems. But I think right now, I think we're in good shape. We're excited about what the future holds, and obviously our success this year on the athletic fields and in the athletic arenas, returning a lot of kids. So looking forward to maybe some more more championships and some more success in the athletic venue. But I think overall, I think our district is starting to see some growth and some potential to get even better.
Excellent. In the last minute, we got two things that are out there, and it's out there every day. And I've listened as I drove over here today on both talk radio for sports stations. Any effect transfer portals had on high school mentality about transferring and that type of thing?
No, the survey just came out, excuse me, from NOSSA a few days ago about whether that was going to be, whether we were going to grant a one-time or whether they would grant a one-time transfer to each student athlete. I think that's in addition to the situation that they have with divorced parents and their student athlete. But it was actually a closer vote than I thought. I think it was 55 to 45 on the voting. So 55 against and 45 for. So I think we'll probably see that revisited in the future. But right now, I would say that may be something we see coming in the future. And
the NIL.
I think so. That's been discussed as well at our OIAAA meeting. So I think there's some situations we're going to see here in the future that we're going to have to address regarding that.
Well, Mick, I'm glad you're here today, and I'm sure we'll have you for sure at the end of the year to do a wrap up with us and so on. And we'll come back after these messages.
Hey Tulsa, we have a crushing recycle play of the day for you. Team Johnson versus paper and cardboard.
They're starting off slow today, probably trying to figure out what to do with those styrofoam plates, since they're not recyclable.
There's the big play we were waiting for. Boom! Completely empty cardboard boxes dunked in the cart. Score big by recycling your cardboard and paper. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
Being an athlete at Booker T. Washington has taught me to carry myself with class as an athlete, student, and friend, and to have responsibility on and off the field.
Being an athlete at Memorial High School has taught me to be a better person, because when you play sports, attitude is the main thing you have to deal with. Not just your own, but other people's. It also teaches you to be the bigger person.
On today's show, we heard from Marlon Houston, Assistant Athletic Director, about the Student Athlete Advisory Program. We also heard from our student athletes, outstanding student athletes, and their athletic directors at the individual schools. I want to remind you again about the 10th Annual TPS Athletics Hall of Fame banquet on June 2nd at the Doubletree Hotel at 61st and Yale, and the Legends Golf Classic on June 3rd at La Fortune Golf Club. Make plans to support these athletic programs by calling Lisa Norman at the athletic department. That number is 918-746-6453, and make reservations today for both events. We'll be back in 2 weeks with a new show on Inside Tulsa Athletics.